Hi everyone, my name is Joelle, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Widow's Pantry. Widow's Pantry is a nonprofit organization that helps homeless, unemployed, and underemployed individuals. Not everybody is technically what they call homeless. Some people may just not have a permanent residence and or maybe couch surfing or staying in hotels night to night, and that would consider them technically homeless because they are not living in one place all the time. Widow's Pantry has helped many individuals throughout the years, just bringing food, shelter, clothing to their lives. Homelessness and people who are in need are very, just in my opinion, not taken care of enough, or not looked into enough, or not helped enough. This organization, I think, is a great cause, like looking at a great cause and working with a great cause based off of just where you live. It doesn't matter if you live in Beverly Hills, it doesn't matter if you live in DC. There's homelessness all over the place. So a big overview, or a brief overview, that the client needs is to get the exposure and to get the notice of their nonprofit organization. How this nonprofit organization started was back in, I believe, 2008 during Christmas. Miss Traps had so much food left over that she said that she decided to take all the leftover food that was at the house, and she decided to take it to different places to feed the hungry. And then right after that, she decided the following year, when she did it again, this time she had her family join her after they had their Christmas dinner, and they basically took all the leftovers that they had that, weren't packed away, and they took those leftovers, and then they also made even more food on top of that, more sandwiches and soups and stuff like that, and they brought that to other homeless shelters as well, and they went to go and feed the needy and people who needed help. Word started to spread around that time, a little bit after that, and more people started to donate to her cause, and then more people started to give her money so that she would be able to go out and buy food, and then they would start donating clothes, and then they would start donating food and just everything that you could think of. And she decided that she was going to make this not just something that she did for the fun or just because she could, but she decided to make this her purpose. And this really hit home with Miss Traps because when she, back in the early 90s, she and her son, she was a single mother, and she wasn't able to really provide for her and her son because she only had one income. And now thinking about it these days, things have gone up in price so much, so I can only imagine how hard it is for single parents now. So she would basically go to the grocery store and spend $25 every 2 weeks, and that was all she could afford. And then she realized, hey, there's definitely other mothers here, or other fathers that are single and only have a one-income household. How can I help them see that I can spend $25 at the grocery store every 2 weeks and make this food last? I think that's just an incredible thing that she did. Some of the goals that I had for this organization, especially because they are targeting individuals, men and women, that are between the ages of 21 all the way up to like 30, 35. A lot of these people need food or clothing and they don't have it. So a big goal of mine was to increase the clothing and food donations for Widow's Pantry. The objective was that I wanted to increase the number of donors by 20%. It is going to be a big objective to reach, but I think we can do it. And a lot of the ways that I was expecting to do it was to just use social media. Social media is one of the best ways to communicate in this day and age. So between going on Facebook, Instagram, I specifically mentioned Instagram as I was writing this because Instagram doesn't just connect to one platform, it connects to almost every single one. So let's say you want to make a post on Instagram or put a story on Instagram, you can not only just share it to Instagram, you can share it to Facebook, Twitter, and a couple other, like TikTok, and you can share it through all those streaming services, and you're not just reaching one audience, you're reaching multiple different audiences in one post. And that's a big deal because a lot of times, like I said, social media right now is how things are moving, how people communicate, how they reach out and ask for help. So that's a huge thing. So for me, the social media was just a huge tactic that was going to help bring this nonprofit organization to life. I had started by saying that I wanted to post once a week, and that was minimum, once a week minimum, and that would help keep audience engaged, because if you're only posting once a month, people don't really look at your posts as much, and then you don't get the traction that you need. So the social media going once a week is going to be a very big deal in getting more recognition for the things that's happening within Widow's Pantry. The next goal that I had noticed as I was doing my research was that there wasn't a great number of full-time staff and or reliable volunteers when it came to working with this nonprofit organization. So my objective was that within 4 months, I would increase the number of 10% of staffing by December of 2021, so at the end of the year. That was going to be adding job listings to different company websites, such as like Indeed or anything like that, and then putting up ads in newspapers so that we have not just digital marketing, but we also have written marketing so that it's not just one place and you're only seeing it every once in a while. If you are able to do that, then you're able to see all these job postings and then volunteer work, and then we'll be able to raise awareness that Widow's Pantry needs people that are reliable. And then by doing that, we'll bring people in. And then the way that I wanted to go about that was having different trainings. So going through the training process of this is how you deal with people in this situation. When we go out and we are giving, food during the holidays, this is how you talk to them. This is how you handle certain situations. If somebody gets angry, if somebody's too happy, you don't want to overreact in certain situations. And by doing this, you need to make sure that you are trained properly. So that was a big deal in that situation. The next objective that I had and goal was to get less homeless and in-need people. We needed to get them help and where they need to go. So not just with housing, but we also want to be able to get them the education that they need. So let's say they're in their 20s, their early 20s, and they never graduated high school. We want to be able to find a way to get them so that they are able to get their GED, or they're able to go forward and get that college degree, or just get them into the workforce so that they're able to start becoming self-sustaining as they learn how to get back on their feet. The objective was that 5% of adolescents from the age of 13 to 18 were back in school or have a job by December of 2022, so the end of next year. That number is not too big of a number. It is very hard when you're looking at a lot of these situations that just people get so used to living the way that they live, or they have it stuck in their head that this is how it's supposed to be, that they don't want to change and they feel like they don't need to. But then you have the other half that do want to change and they do want to do better. So I recommended that throwing an educational fundraiser, just not that only donors come, but they also go to donate to the people that are in need. So they don't just donate to the foundation, of Widow's Pantry, but they can choose a person or persons to help donate to the cause and help get them forward to where they need to go. And it doesn't even need to be when it is for money. It can be clothing. So if they need to go to a job interview and they don't have the clothes that they need to go to this job interview, they get clothing donations specifically for them, tailored for them, so that they're able to go into this job interview ready and prepared for what life is going to throw at them. I made a budget, and this budget included not just having social media, but I also did digital marketing, and then I also did TV and radio ads. So for my social media plan, I decided that being able to post once a week, like I said before, is going to be the best way that we are able to get the word out about donations, events, anything like that. So every week we post once a week. It could be every Wednesday, but this will be a little bit costly because it does take time to go into posting and go into editing and all of that. But once a week is going to be the best way to engage in social content and get a following, and then people will spread the word because social media is just so strong right now. The next thing that I looked into was email marketing. And for me, email marketing was a big thing, especially because a lot of times when you're looking at older generations, like people who are maybe in their late 50s or 60s, a lot of them may not have an Instagram or may not use Facebook like that. So sending out emails, things that they check all the time, is another way that we can spread the word and be able to get more people to want to volunteer, want to help, want to donate. And this is a little bit less costly as it comes to just setting out like mass emails at a time and getting people part of that cause and part of that situation. One of the most expensive options that I had looked at was going into TV and radio. And the reason why I wanted to look into TV and radio was because even though this budget was going to be a lot higher doing it with TV and radio, everybody watches TV. Everybody basically listens to the radio. And if you're not listening to actual radio, you're listening to some sort of Pandora, or you're listening to Apple Music, or you're listening to Spotify. And a lot of those streaming music services on the radio have advertising. Netflix has advertising. Hulu has advertising. And the best way to go about it, you can't skip advertisements on any of those streaming services. So I thought that this was one of the best tactics that we can use in order to spread the word about Widow's Pantry and what they're doing and ways that people can donate to the cause and everything like that. I really believe in this cause. It really did hit home with me, and just reading about and hearing about the stories that some people go through when it comes to homelessness and just being in need really does register in a different way that you would not believe. I think that this budget plan and just how we're going to break down the money and be able to show like a growth from it is going to be a big deal. I think that working this direction and using a lot of different, internet resources is going to just make it 100% workable. We're going to be able to reach out to so many different people that are not just part of a different demographic. Like, they're not just going to be the older versions, but they're also going to be younger individuals who are eager to help and want to be there and care about this situation. So I think that taking a chance on Widow's Pantry and being able to raise them up from where they need to be or where they are now to where they need to be is going to be an amazing process, and I can't wait to see how it turns out.